Hey guys, it's me, RK Trauma, and this is going to be another addition to the how to make Breakcore and Renoise tutorial series. And today we're going to do, sorry, today we're going to do part 4, which will be how to make your Breakcore sound hard. Again, this is going to be a very basic tutorial. I'm going to teach you how to make a hardcore kick and how to actually use that in a track with breaks and stuff. Sorry, that was disgusting. But anyway, let's go. So, first of all, you can see my Renoise here. I've done a really quick example because this is actually my second time doing this video. I did the other one perfectly, and I didn't hit record because I'm a fucking idiot. I'm gonna check. Yep, okay, I'm recording. So, yeah. Anyway, let's do it. So, what I've done here to start with is just a little example of. I just really rushed this. It's not like super great, but it's just a little something to. This is what I'm gonna show you how to do. This kind of thing. I'm gonna teach you how to make the kick, and you're gonna chop your own breakbeat. So. Yeah, so this is what it should sound like if you follow this tutorial. I want to get it right. So yeah, that's what we're going to use as an example. So now you've heard that I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete the kick I made, and I'm going to keep the break. Okay, so first off, you don't have to do it this way. You can do breakcore in multiple different ways. Breakcore is one of the most fucking wide range of sounds in a genre in electronic music out there. So you can do it like really jungly, you can do like really heavy sub basses, you can do like what Gore-Tex does with crazy cool bass design, or you can do like Dormouse where you just throw a ton of fucking gabba kicks and make it crazy and absolutely terrifying to listen to in the best way possible. Or you can do it like Ruby My Dear or Tusmai, who like to do very complex breaks, and it's all the beauty of the break chops. But what I'm going to show you here is how to just make a hardcore kick and put it in your sections of your breakcore. Okay, so first of all, how do we make a hardcore kick? So there's a few ways. You can do it all from your own VSTs, and you can make it all from scratch, or you can use like synths, like Vital. I think you can make stuff with Serum. I've seen kicks be made in that. You can use Bass Murder or Baz Murder from DistoFX, really good VST. But what I'm going to show you is how I make my kicks, and what I usually do is I use a bass kick, which is usually a 909, or it can be any kick that's pretty basic and has a good bit of sub on it and is bassy. Anyway, so let's start off with how do we find a kick sample to start working off of. Now, historically, there's this thing here. This is a TR-909, which is an old drum kit made by Roland, and basically this is what gave birth to like a lot of classic dance music sounds. It's a drum kick, so you got your snare, you got your like hi-hats, you got your open hats, you got your claps, crashes, but you've got the bass drum as well. And now what a lot of gabba producers did was they either really clipped the bass drum or they distorted it. When you distort it, and with really heavy distortion VSTs, you can have a kick like the one that I used in the first example. So we're going to use a bass 909 in this video. So if I just go to my sample packs, I've got this pack here. This is so we've got these. This is what a bass drum 909 sounds like. This is going to be the bass of our kick, or this is going to be the start of our kick. So what we can do is we can put it 4 on the floor. If I just do it like this, So that doesn't really sound like anything, that's just a normal kick. It sounds kind of boring. But what we can do is we can start distorting it, and that's really the main thing that I work with my kicks. I distort them a ridiculous amount, and then I'll tidy it up after. But that's how you get the cool sounds. You can just distort things. So here we have the bass drum, and the 3 distortion VSTs I'm going to use in this video. The 3 of them, they're all free. You don't have to pay a single quid, penny, anything. You don't have to do anything. You just download them on the internet. But I will use FabFilter Pro Q3 at the end of it all, just to show the EQing, and also you will have to pay for that, but it's so worth it. It's a great VST. I use it for all my EQing. But yeah, let's start from there. So the first VST we're going to use is one called D-stortion. Now distortion, it looks really goofy, and it kind of is. It's a really super simple distortion VST, but it's quite powerful. So if I just press play, we have our kick. So this 100% meter here, I'm going to turn this down a bit so you can still hear me, because it will get loud. So if I turn this up, that's our distortion meter. But you might be thinking, where's the distortion? Because the second one here is controlling how it's coming out. So the bottom is a sine wave, which is going to be like the really bassy part, but the square wave at the top is what's giving it that gabber edge. And if I turn this down, you can see it work together in tandem. These 2 are your EQs. You can see at the top here, like this is the high end of the sound. We can just cut that off. This is the post distortion, where if I turn this on, and then at the end we can click the post filter and just tidy it up a bit. So we're going to use this as a kick. Another thing I should point out real quickly is, if you look up here, this is the EQ spread. Like, this is the lowest frequencies and the highest, and because kicks are really bassy, you can see there's a lot of noise around the low end of it, which is here. And typically you always want your kick to be around 40 to 50 hertz. So this one's on 50, so it's fine, but try and avoid going over 50, because when you play this on a really loud sound system or speakers, you want to feel the bass. Like, that's a part of playing these songs live, is that you really want to feel the bass punch through. So make sure they're around 30 or 50 hertz is my recommendation. That's what my friend Mike 5000 told me when he helped me a bit with my production, and honestly it changed how I made music a lot, because it was something I was neglecting, and it's something that you shouldn't, so just remember that. Okay, so we've done the first one. The next one we're going to do on top of this is Camelcrusher. Now Camelcrusher is a distortion VST, which is also a compressor. If we open it here, it's another really, I've accidentally clicked the website. It's a really simple VST. It's super simple. You got your distortion here, distorts. You got your filter, which can edit the higher or low frequencies, and the res, which just changes how the effect of it, and the compressor, and you got your master there. So let's just press play on the first preset, and we can change these. But I really like the one. I like this sounds so much. You can turn the tune down and the neck all the way up. You can hear like the higher frequencies are kind of like an earworm. So I'm going to turn the filter up. Just annihilate preset on. But yeah, so now we have the 2 easiest parts out of the way. using D-stortion and Camelcrusher can just give you this. But what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to my favorite VST, which is DistoFX. Now, when you look at this, it looks pretty confusing. There's like all this mumbo jumbo everywhere, but don't worry, it's not too difficult. So I want you to, when you look at this, the first thing you should always do is go down here to where it says initial preset. Don't worry too much about the shaper. You can draw your own shapes and stuff. I never bother. I literally never do that. All I do is I go to initial preset and I choose any of these in here, and I'm going to use Hardcore Fuzz 1, and it will sound like this. But I don't really like the sound of that. So what we're going to do now is, now we're using this as a bass, we go up to the filter effects. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the cutoff. We're going to move around with the cutoff. And all we're going to do is we're going to listen to how it changes. I really like that one. So now we have that. We're going to change the resolution, or the resonance, sorry, not resolution, the resonance with the bandwidth. So let's mess around with this yellow knob. And then after that, we can mess with the filter half balance, this one underneath. I think honestly that was fine where it was originally. That'll just turn it all the way to the right. Let's play it this. So I think that's fine. And lastly, where you see the filter input drive, this one is quite strong, so be careful with this one, and it can make some really interesting sounds. So let's play it. And you can change the mode. Actually, I think for this kick we don't really actually need it, but this is how the kick sounds now. So what we're going to do now is we'll ignore the modulation effects. That's kind of how you do your up-tempo-y kicks. I don't normally like using it, but I'm just going to show you. You can move the amount up both sides and then the break. Okay, I hate, that's why I never use it. I just kind of hate it. I've used it on a kick maybe once, and I don't normally find much use for it, but you can totally use it. It's just not for me. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is, always with these kicks, is always turn the bass up a little bit. Just enough so you have like a low end punch to it. I think 2.4 is good. And now the last thing you can do is, before that, you can also turn up the dynamic shaper. I don't normally do this. You can choose between a sine, a triangle, or a pulse, but I usually don't normally do it. I'll mess around with this sometimes. that's the kick we have so far. And the last thing you can do is you can use the input saturation and the output. These can have quite strong effects, so I usually go input first and then output after. I don't think we even need the output. So this is our kick. So if you play it in the scope, that's how it looks. So the last thing we need to do now is we need to go to Pro Q3, which is going to be your choice of EQ, or if you use Pro Q3, and you're going to press play and watch the kick. So here you can see this is the bassy part. So all I like to do is I like to find where the bassiest part is at the low end, where your low end punch will be, and I like to just turn it up a few decibels. And then after that, I will get another EQ and just kind of hover around. And one thing, and I'll see if there's any parts that I like to sync up. Around and see what you like with it. But one thing I will always suggest is if you go to around 3200 Hz and you make it quite small, this is usually your punch. And what makes your kick a little bit more, I don't know what the word would be. It makes your kick just kind of hit a bit harder. And lastly, I always tend to do a brick wall, or like something close to a brick wall, like around just where you can stop hearing so much more. And that all this does is this just helps make your kick a bit cleaner, so there's not so much muddy low end. You can see here there still is a low end, but you can hear a difference. So just to tidy a bit off, and if you really want to in Renoise, you can go to the digital filter, you can go to the bottom one, switch it. But I think this sounds fine. So this is just a quick kick I made. You can totally experiment with it more. Like honestly, you can just make kicks forever. Like I can put in different kicks I've made, but this is just a really basic one. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna resample the kick by, what I do is I go to the top of the bar and I hold shift and I hold page up, and it will highlight the entire bar, and then all I do is I right click and I hit render to sample, and I choose an empty spot on the sample loader at the top. So now look, this is our kick. Hang on, maybe I should take the VSTs off that we used. It kind of sucks because the other video I did, I think I made a much better kick, but anyway. That's what our kick looks like, and it all started from this, and now it's. So now we have our kick. Let's do some break chopping with it. So I always like to kind of follow the same pattern. I'm gonna make 4 pages, or 4 patterns. I always like to follow this kind of kick rhythm. Where it's first kick on beat and you miss the next beat and you go on the off beat instead. But you can kind of hear that doesn't sound like so smooth, and it's because the tail, like around here, it's getting to like this part here kind of. So what we can do is in the track we can cut it off. So I always cut I always hit the off key after a single whole like beat is played. So if you do this, so that's a hardcore kick used in a track. I always do this rhythm, and this is like my favorite rhythm to do. I'm actually going to copy it here. Wait, these, yeah. Oh no, these aren't right. Why is it not working? Copy, there we go. So now we have, and then you can put in at the end of every other one like a little roll, so it's like this. So now it sounds like that. This is our kick rhythm in our breakcore song. And then you could even do stuff like this. You could even do stuff like that. Or you could hit the reverse. You can reverse it by going like this. You can do stuff like that as well. But for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to keep it simple. You can do a lot of different rhythms that you want. This is just a good base one that I use quite often. And now let's figure out how to structure the break around a hardcore kick. And so now we've made our kick, and we're somewhat happy with it. I have this break here to use. It's from a Kenko Taiji pack. So it sounds like this. But we're going to just focus on these last few chops here. So you'll need 2 note columns and 2 effect columns is what I usually use. So first of all I like to do is do like a really basic pattern. I always just, one thing I got, what somebody taught me, and I always really super appreciate that this info of this person, is when you're doing break chops on top of like kicks, you should try and make it more rhythmic rather than like flashy and cool and look at my crazy breakcore chops. You should, and the key to doing this style of breakcore with hardcore is that you do the cool breakcore chops in the spaces that the kicks don't like overwhelm the song. So this is going to be our bass rhythm. So this is the bass rhythm. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. By the way, you don't always have to do this every single bar. Like you can totally change it up. And you can do like a different one here, like in the next kick pattern. But you might notice at the end of this, there's an empty space, and that's where we're going to do the hard breaks. Because what I figured, or what I've been, a friend has taught me, and what just I've kind of figured out as well with my songs through that advice, is that your breakcore should shine in the places where the breakcore can be heard like very cleanly. But when there's a lot of hardcore kicks, it can get very messy. And I have tracks like that where the breaks are going crazy on top of the kicks, and I wanted that kind of like overwhelmness. But if you want your breaks to stand out, this is probably what would be what helps it, is what I would say. So now all you got to do is do some breakcore chops. Pretty simple, right? So yeah, I'm just gonna do some stuff here. Just really, I'm not gonna go over the top with it. I always use these off keys in between as well, just to make it extra punchy. And then we'll go up 4 and then down 4. Actually, no, we'll go up 2. So it sounds like this. And then we can repeat the rhythm across all 3. Sorry if I'm kind of quiet. I'm just wait. Hang on. That's 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm just, yeah, I can't really sidetrack. I'm very single-minded person in the sense that my stupid brain can't do lots of things at once, so I'm just chopping the breaks, but this is just to give you an idea of a quick way to do the song. And we'll go down like this. If you've watched my other videos, you'll know what I'm doing here with the break chops, or have kind of like an idea of like what you're actually like looking at. And then we're gonna do like a kick roll. Oops, that's not right. But yeah, so this is the basics of it. Bonk. So just to end it off nicely, we'll go down 2, we'll go up 1, 2, 3. Did I say 1, 2, 3? No, it's actually 4. What's wrong with me? So yeah, sorry for the quietness. This is just me producing, and so this is how I would structure like a hardcore kicks on top of a breakcore pattern. You don't always have to use this kick pattern, and I'll show this actually by loading up one of my other songs. Yeah, I can show you this one. So this is a song I made recently for my new EP called Claw Cuts, coming out soon. Hopefully the art's done, everything's ready, so it's just on my friend's label to decide when it's ready. Actually, this isn't even a file. I named a file with absolutely nothing in it, the actual title of the track. It's actually this one. What's wrong with me? Why did I do that? But yeah, this is the track. I'm just gonna play like one bit. I'll turn it down because I think it's gonna be really loud. But like here. With the blade, with the blade, like a chef with the blade. So if I just play this with just the kicks and the breaks. So you might think like, what the fuck's that kick pattern? But it kind of works in the song structure. Oh, that's a disgusting kick. But like here as well at the start, you can hear the kick pattern. And another way you can do it is like here. Just use your imagination and think, how should these big, heavy, bassy kicks work with everything else? So if I just play the actual track, it sounds like this. So yeah, there you go. I'll play one more example off my new EP. And this isn't me promoting it, this is just recent songs I've made that I can reference and tell you exactly where they are. This is probably the best example actually. Like this part here, I'm gonna just I'll play it with just the I'll play the whole all the samples in it, but listen.
Why is it got to be so damn
Hear how like it's like parts of the track where I'm trying to give the breaks its own part. And another part of this where I do that like 2 kick rhythm. So yeah, that's an example. So all it is just that's how you make your hardcore kicks. You decide how they should go in your song, but just make sure they're timed together and make sure that when the kicks are being played, your breaks are being rhythmic with it and not trying to get too messy. You want it to be clean and you want to make it punch hard, unless that is your design and you do want to make it clean. I mean, you do want to make it messy because that can work, you know. Breakcore can be whatever you want it to be. But this is just my advice. So yeah, I hope this helped. And yeah, I'll try and make another video for this series soon. But honestly, I don't know. I just kind of get wrapped up in real life stuff, and trying to produce music is just very like spontaneous for me. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully people enjoy this video. Anyway, bye.